Okay. So this is a good start to a test.
Star City Cross on the 15th of September.
Yep.
It's actually going on behind us, the Masters race.
Masters, Collegiate, Cat 5.
Yep. And we're going to do the Cat 3-4 race here in an hour.
Cat 3-4 race, and I'm going to do the 1-2-3 afterwards.
Yep.
That'll be fun.
I'm going to watch.
We're at Van Dorn Park.
Yep.
In Lincoln, Nebraska. So what are your goals for the race today?
I've got 3 goals.
Oh.
1 is to not break my shifters. 2 is to have fun. And 3 is to channel my inner Yolanda Neff and never give up, even if it's 3/4 of the way through the race and I'm just getting my butt whooped. So those are my 3 goals.
You're like a Swiss woman.
It's a really tough.
You're like a Swiss woman.
Yeah, we're very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. What are your goals?
I don't really know where I'm at as far as this fitness and handling skills because this is our first race of the season.
Yep.
So I think my main goal is to try to stay smooth in the corners. Don't try to go super hot into them and keep hitting the brakes midway. I'd like to be in the podium. I think that's possible, but we'll see.
Which race do you want to be on the podium?
Oh shoot, the 3-4 race.
Okay.
The 1-2-3, that's going to be a training race. That's just going to be, it's just extra time on the bike, extra intensity, feeling the stress for the week.
Gotcha.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this course, we pre-rode it.
Yeah. And
what are your impressions of the course?
I like it. I think it's fun. It's going to be tough. That's why one of my goals is to stay smooth in the corners because I don't. It's there's not a lot of power sections.
There's basically one power section.
Yeah, and that's just basically one hill.
Right.
Which is like a 30-second hill, which is like my weakness.
Maybe the start finish will be a little bit of a power section.
Yeah. Twisty, turny. It's going to reward handling skills. So
it's not going to reward me.
Shoot, barely me either. I think it'd be interesting. It should be a lot of fun. So I guess that'd be my second goal, is to have a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, this course is going to be a blast, but it will definitely highlight my lack of handling skills on a cross bike. Getting better, but it weirds me out when the front wheel gets loose, and that happened while we were pre-outing on the second lap, and that makes me real nervous. So then I get real rigid, and I stand the bike up instead of leaning it and disconnecting like I should.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of little ruts out there from, I think, when they've done practice races out here and it's been a little bit muddy.
Mm-hmm.
Those kind of make me nervous.
Especially after, on a wide corner where you get into those ruts.
Yeah.
Or you could take a wheel, maybe.
Yeah, some of them you can kind of just, hashtag trust the rut, or whatever that hashtag is that Crosshairs uses. Some of them, you just have to ignore them. They're fine.
Yeah.
But if you get in your head, you can really tense up.
So speaking of ruts, what are you running for tire pressure in tires?
So I'm running the Specialized Tracer Pros tubeless. Right now I've got 24 in the front and 27 PSI in the back. What about you?
So the Clement, I think they're MXPs?
Yeah.
Yeah, MXPs, tubeless, 26 all around, because it just kind of feels good. So we'll see. I say that now, but I might break my my rule and break a shifter if I wipe out a front wheel again.
Well, we'll go out and do some hot laps before the race starts to kind of test out pressures and get some cornering at race speed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I thought about bringing a trainer to warm up on.
Did you?
Yeah.
Where did you warm up here? Just on the course?
I guess so. There's a bike trail. I don't know how far out it goes. I mean, it's Lincoln. It probably goes forever.
Yeah, I've got a bad experience with warming up on bike trails this year. Definitely not going to do sprints.
Well, you're not wearing shoe covers.
That's true. That's true. Anything else looking forward to the race?
No.
Me either.
It's fun.
All right.
Sounds good.
There really needs to be a level. So, cheers on the race.
Cheers. First race of the season.
It's over.
For us. It's just beginning.
Cross is done. Cross is over. Cross was here. It's gone. So you did 2 races. The 3-4 and the 1-2-3.
Yeah.
How did the 3-4 go?
3-4 went.
Oh wait, we should back up. What were your goals?
Right. So I wanted to get on the podium. Check. I got third.
Right.
I wanted to try to stay smooth in the corners and not get all ham-fisted with the brakes all the time, and it went okay.
Mm-hmm.
Some of those corners, I never dialed them in all the way.
Yeah.
Had a hard
Specifically, there's
time.
that kind of mid-course where you're. It was after the like back and forth section, and you go right. I'm sure I'll pull a pre-ride of so we can see exactly where that was. But I could never quite figure out how to navigate that quickly without slipping the front tire.
Those U-turns next to the pits.
Yeah, those.
I had a hard time with those. And then that one U-turn on the backside of the course. Again, I felt like I went so slow through those things.
Yeah, those U-turns by the pits, I found it easier if I was following somebody.
Right.
There's just more confidence, like, okay, they did that, and I can cut to the inside or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so I got third.
And then what was your third goal? So podium, be smooth.
I think I only stated those two.
Really?
I don't think I had three. Have fun, I guess was that.
I don't think that was a stated goal.
I said something about having fun, I thought. But yeah, so at the start, I was in too big of a gear, and
Because you were on front row start?
Yeah, I had a front row. I was a third call up.
Were you in the middle, left, right?
I was in like just to the right of the middle.
Okay.
I felt like we were really squeezed in there. Like if maybe somebody like pushed their way into the front row or something. I don't know, but it was like bar to bar to bar,
Mm-hmm.
and I was in too big of a gear, and so like my bike went to the right and then to the left as I'm like trying to get on top of this gear, and I ended up just like way back, just getting swarmed. And then there was a crash right in that first corner of the start chute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that crash held me up, and I just saw the front right away.
Which so Jake Wild was the one that started the crash, and he had a great Instagram post that I hope maybe I can find and throw on here.
Oh, really?
I was looking for quarters. Just goes on a quarter, just down, right in the ground. It was pretty great. But I started third row, and I was right in your tail after that, which surprised the heck out of me.
Yeah, I just got a really bad start. And then there's another crash towards the backside of the course in that first lap, and at that point I was just chasing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy with how it performed, but I would have liked to have been up maybe with Jake Wilson, and I think Ben Dumas got second place. Right. Would have been nice to be up there, maybe fighting for the podium rather than just like getting on I got on the podium, so awesome.
You remember that commercial that was Dumas or whatever the guy?
No.
Like, the interviewer or something?
Dumbass. It's Dumas.
So it was Jake Wilson and Ben Dumas, and then there's a gap to you and Jake Wild.
Right. Yeah, I think I looked back at the results, and I think I was like 28 seconds behind Ben, and Ben was like.
We had the technology. I took a picture of the.
Yeah. Like Ben was like 3 seconds behind Jake.
Let's see. So you finished 42:36, 42 minutes 36 seconds. Ben Dumas was 42:08, so 20 some odd seconds.
28 seconds about. If my math is right.
I need an Excel spreadsheet to do math.
Yeah. So how'd your race go?
Better than I expected.
Seriously, man, I was impressed.
Even before, so like earlier this year before I did Cat 2 mountain bike, it was always, how are you going to do, right? You have no point of reference.
Right.
So it's just like your point of reference is, it feels hard when I'm out riding. That's what she said. But you just never have any idea until you do it. So I did better than I expected. I got fifth. Jake Wild was in front of me, and then you. But going back to my goals, so goal one was that have fun or was that not break?
No, it was not break levers. Shifter, yeah.
I didn't break anything, so done. Two was have fun, I think, which I don't know if I'd call it type 2 fun. Afterwards it was fun. And then three was to mimic Yolanda Neff or channel you on enough and never give up, which I definitely did that. There's a point where you and Jake Wild had gotten a pretty significant gap, and I just kept working at that climb and could come back to you guys, and then there's a time both of you bobbled getting back in your bikes after the going over the barrier, so I was able to catch back on.
Totally dry humped my saddle trying to get back on.
So yeah, otherwise it went well. I actually handled the bike okay. I handled better when I was following somebody, because I can feel, or I can tell that they're not wrecking, and I shouldn't be able to wreck either.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that always helps.
It was type 2 fun. It was hot.
Yeah, it was warm. I think we were around 90 degrees most of the day.
Felt warmer. But I had a bottle on my bike. You did too, right?
Yep. I ran a bottle too. I was running a small bottle for that 3-4 race, and I pretty much drank all of it.
I had half a small bottle on 3-4 race, and I had it all gone before the second lap was done. So I chucked it because extra weight.
Of course, yeah.
But I was needing water real bad at the end.
Yeah. Hey man, I was hurting for most of that 3-4 race. It was just, I don't know. I discovered maybe in the last couple of laps that there's a lot of chance for recovery in that more technical area where you're like right after the start finish and you're just going corner, corner, corner. It's like there's no place to really put power down, so you're just naturally recovering. So I was like, if you can just go really hard on that last climb, get over the barriers, and just go really hard in the start finish, because you can recover for the next 3 minutes, or something. So it took me a while to figure that out.
Following behind, I was noticing when you were doing that, specifically on the start finish page section, because you would gap Jake. And then I would catch up to Jake and just sit on his wheel.
Right.
And then we'd catch up in the corners, because he corners like he's a wild man.
Seriously, I put a good gap on him on that page start, and then I felt like I was going pretty smooth in the corners, and he'd be on my ass in 30 seconds.
That dude can handle.
Yeah.
Although he did wreck 3 times in the first quarter of the race.
But still, yeah. Ride it like you don't care. So you can usually go faster, I guess.
Yeah. But, yeah, I was honestly surprised that you weren't up there with Jake and us. So it must have just been the start.
I think so. I mean, there's just at that point I had to work through traffic, whereas they were off the front. They could just. No, I think actually Jake Wilson. I think he said he had to work through some traffic too. I think he got caught up in that second crash, which I think was Todd Ramsey's kid. What's his name?
Something Ramsey. Will Ramsey.
Will. I think, because Todd said he saw Will's bike just go flying. So I don't know what happened there, but.
Which the backstory there is if, Todd and Will, if Will would have beat Todd, his dad, he could have rode Todd's bike for the next race.
Ow.
Didn't happen.
But, yeah, so that was a 3-4 race.
How'd the 1-2-3 race go? It looked painful.
I was dreading it. It just, you get back on the bike after doing that 45-minute race and your legs are stiff, and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do. Last year at the Shred Invitational, I did the 3-4 race and then the 1-2-3, and the 1-2-3 race was just awful, and it was hot that day too. But I mean, I drank a lot of water between the races today. I didn't want to be dehydrated. And I think that really helped. Because I didn't...
Well, water and hydration mix, right?
Yeah, I had some of that scratch you gave me. And I had a gel, and I had a 12-ounce Red Bull. So I had a good amount of carbs between the races. And I think just the hydration really helped. That one started, and I had no expectations for that race. I was just out there for training. So I didn't try to go balls to the wall from the get-go. Also, it was 60 minutes.
Right.
So I just went kind of hard. It was a much better start this time. Just smoother. I mean, it was just more experienced guys. And one woman, I think Allison Hunt was her name. She had a good start too. It was just smoother. People aren't flying into each other and bouncing off each other trying to get through these corners. So I was able to kind of ride the outside a little bit, and then just kind of settled into a pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd hit it harder on the little uphill risers and try to stay smooth in the corners, and it was good. Like in that last climb, what would you say, like a 30-second effort, something like that?
Yeah, probably.
Up that thing, I would just go each time,
Mm-hmm.
thinking like, remembering that I could recover on the front half of the course again. And so I'd catch a bunch of people. I think it was Jason Brummels. He came flying past me on that
climb?
On that climb in the first lap. I'm like,
Talking the 1-2-3 race?
yeah. I'm like, okay. I was going pretty hard myself, like probably a good 95% of this thing, and he comes past me. I'm like, all right, man, you go. That's awesome. Top of the hill, stops back. I look at him like, dude, you're supposed to keep going after you do something like that. I know. He's laughing. Then I just kind of settled in.
I found that climb hard to do seated. I pretty much had to do it like out of the saddle every single time, because I seated, I was getting bumped all over the place, and I couldn't get into a rhythm enough to put consistent power down, and it felt comfortable just out of the saddle, throwing the back and forth, especially if you had to pass people, because they'd be in that
little line,
that little single track line going the right. That just seemed to be the way to climb it for me.
Yeah.
Went way too hard the first couple laps of it, but after a while you could like climb it and do, I think I was doing 450-ish watts climbing it out of the saddle those times, which, like you said, you can do that paved section and then recover.
Yeah.
The first time I was looking back at my stuff and it was like 1,000 watts for a couple seconds and then back down to like 700. Like, ooh, this is stupid. Like when I passed you and then you just promptly passed me again.
I couldn't believe, like, what is Tyler doing passing me on a climb? Like,
being dumb.
Like, man, he's riding a lot stronger than I thought he would. I mean, he stuck with it most of that race, though.
Yeah. Once I can't remember what the actual thing was that split Jake and I up. I think it was after a paved section, Jake Wild that is, after a paved section going to the corners, he just steadily put a gap on me, and I just didn't make that up. And just kept you guys in sight, but didn't have the poop to get back on.
Yeah. Yeah, that 1-2-3 race, like I was like enjoying myself. I was like, am I not going hard enough? But I looked down at my power numbers. I'm like, no, I'm going pretty hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I just, I think with Paul Gebbers, I don't know his last name. I think he's on the Goldenrod Pastries whatever team. He came past us in the second lap, I think. And then I ended up catching him again, and he was totally blown, like up that climb. And I looked back and I saw him almost at a standstill at the top of that climb. But I guess maybe I just never went into the red like I did in the 3-4 race.
Do you think some of that, though, is a lot of your races this year were longer? Like you did Marathon Mountain Bike Race, did Gravel Worlds, Les Hills Enduro, like they're longer events, so you've got that endurance, and it's not the same as things intensity, but
I've been doing a lot of like zone 2 work, just a couple of days of intensity a week, 450.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but I mean, shoot, like at cross practice, I'm usually able to hang with like Ted Lichnowsky, and he was like a half lap ahead of me there.
He also didn't do a race before.
And he's much better at handling his bike than I am. But so I don't know, but I finished that race an hour long. I was the first person to not do the full 8 laps or whatever, however many laps it was done.
Yeah.
It was probably maybe 12, because Dylan passed me in like the last little bit. I was joking that, I'm so glad Dylan passed me so I didn't have to do another lap, but I was like, I could keep going.
Huh.
I don't know what the deal with that was, but I was not that gassed at the end. So, felt good. Pretty happy with that. I'm hoping with training and all that stuff by state championships I'll be
the state champion.
I hope so. It'd be nice, but
I mean, just the other day. Yeah, I know you're all.